Hello there, Pop Pop.
Hello there, Bryan.
Hello there, Pop Pop. What's up, bitch?
Hey, baby.
Hey.
Word.
Hello there, Pop Pop.
Hello there, Pop.
Hey there, Pop Pop.
Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, girl, hey. I was told I ain't got no energy.
It's like sleeping on the job.
Hello there, and welcome to Pink Milk, your Star Wars podcast for us superfans.
And those of us who are forced to listen to them.
It's Pride Month, and that means we're talking to our friend Adam, who's drawing naughty pictures.
Naughty pictures?
Naughty pictures. Are you ready, Thomas?
I'm ready.
It's time to drink up.
Drink up.
Hello there, Pop Pop.
Hello there.
How are you?
I am well. How are you?
You know, it's the first Sunday of Pride Month, and I would just like to thank the baby Jesus for making the gays.
Well, happy Pride Month and happy Sunday Fun Day.
Sunday, fun day. You know why today is super fun?
No.
The kids are going to camp tomorrow.
Now I do. We have given them off this past weekend. I do love them, but I love to see them busier.
3 boys in a house with nothing to do on a hot Tatooine summer day. I mean, luckily I work in an office.
Yeah. I work in an office too. It just so happens to be in my house. Makes for very loud days. Anyway, the good news is they're going to camp tomorrow.
There we go. Love you, boys. Love you, boys.
Bye.
And love you, listeners. Just in case you're a new listener that we don't love just yet, we're about to. I'm going to go ahead and introduce ourselves. I'm your host, Bryan. With
Hey, Bryan. How are you?
Hey, girl. Hey. With me, as always, is my better half and your better host, Thomas.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, there it is. You know what, Thomas?
Yes, sir.
You've been watching Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, it's good.
It's so good.
It really, really is good.
I can't wait. So we're taking a break, as we said on the last episode, of Husband and Husband to talk about Obi-Wan so we can focus on interviewing other queer folk. But we're going to talk about Obi-Wan in July, and I'm very excited because it's going to be like a recap for me.
You know, like when it's over.
When it's over. But we'll know the whole story then. It's going to give a new kind of review, I think. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm very curious how this is going to go.
I'm excited.
Are you? Didn't sound excited.
Yeah, you know, this is my excited.
Okay, well, you sound about as excited as Anakin did in episode 2.
I'm probably about that excited. Just kidding.
You know, before we get going,
I
have to read this that someone left us on YouTube. Because it is Pride Month. Also, you should be celebrating other gay people. And by celebrating here at Pink Milk, you could probably head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a written review or even just a star. But I like written reviews because I like to read them.
Celebrate.
Okay. All right. Listen to this, Tom. It's very, very beautiful. Pink Milk and your community have literally changed my relationship with Star Wars drastically. I don't have my glasses on.
It's tough getting old.
It is. Okay, let's do this again.
I wouldn't be able to see it at all.
I barely can. Okay, Pink Milk and your community have literally changed my relationship with Star Wars drastically. I've been a huge Star Wars fan since I was really young, but I've never ever found a community online or in real life that I felt at home in. My experiences as a Star Wars fan has been so isolated and lonely. Coming across Pink Milk and all your individual content and coming across your online community has transformed my fan experience to the point where even though I couldn't be at Celebration, it was still one of the most fun weeks I've had in the longest time. because I could experience it through all of you and your community. Now I feel like no matter how toxic and negative a lot of Star Wars fans can be, it doesn't matter to me because I found a space that love Star Wars in all the ways I do and make it as fun and great as it was always supposed to be. So much love to all of you. And I'm so glad that that y'all are getting the recognition you received at Celebration because you deserve it. I can't tell you how giddy I was to watch the stream because I'm so over the moon for you. Sorry for the essay, but I really needed to thank y'all. P.S. I hope there's some way you all come to London for next year because it would be a dream come true for me.
Not a green dream.
Well, maybe Binary B really loves Yoda. And
that was really, really nice of them.
Wasn't that great?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Binary B.
I'm always impressed that, at the outpouring and the sharing.
I know.
It's very impressive. Makes you feel good.
It does.
Of course, I don't think they're talking to me. But anyway.
Of course they are.
Oh, they are?
Remember, you got a button that was specifically for me.
I got a button?
You did get a button.
Sorry, you said I was too loud.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to the people with either AirPods in their ears or driving down the highway at 80-something miles an hour.
It was the button. Thank you for the button, though. I do love the button. And you know who you are.
Real quick, though, for you, Thomas, before we get into this here interview with Adam, which honestly, I've wanted to have this conversation about getting older as a gay man for like so long. And Adam and I really get into it. And I really enjoyed myself, and Adam's artwork is so beautiful. But forewarning now, if you go to Twitter and look at Adam Graphite, like, it's not safe for work and at all. But it's great. It's beautiful. Love it. Makes me very happy. But what are you thinking of Obi-Wan? Like, before we get into it, we've watched part 1, 2, and 3.
Well, the first episode, remember I said, I don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. Second episode, all right, you know how it always is. It takes a while to build up. Now the third one was rocking and I don't want to give it away, but obviously somebody who we haven't seen in a really long time.
You can give it away. It's been out for
Vader's back. I mean, that's exciting.
Yes.
I grew up with him, you know, so it just makes me happy. It's awesome because we haven't heard anything about him. He's been gone for so long. Mm-hmm. So many shows, so many episodes, so many movies. He's just been gone for so long. It's finally great to see him. So.
I know. And I feel like we're getting like more Anakin than Vader this go around. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the thing that I was most excited for with Vader being in this early, we're halfway through. And that's like
stinks, by the way.
It does kind of, but
kind of upsetting.
Rumorville is there's going to be a season 2. But what's exciting to me is that the reveal of Darth Vader, you would think would be the thing they were leading towards, and they plopped it right down in the middle. So what is coming? Like, what's so big that it's going to overshadow meeting Vader again? I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, good question. Good question, Brian. Can I call you Brian?
I'd rather call me Daddy.
Daddy, it's a great question.
We had that conversation with Adam, so get ready. And Thomas, we're going to come back to you as soon as this conversation is done.
You know what? I'll be here.
Okay, I love it. Thank you. Drink up.
Drink up.
Well, hello there, everyone, and I am very, very, very excited to introduce Adam Graphite. Hello, my friend. Hello, hello. How are you?
Hello, I am good.
Happy Saturday morning to you, and happy Pride. We are in, day 4 of Pride? Is it June 4th? What's the date?
4th, I think. 5th,
yeah.
4th.
The 4th. Happy Pride.
Thank you. Happy Pride to you.
Are you feeling a little gayer?
No.
No, okay.
Just normal gay.
Just normal gay. I try to turn it up a little bit for the month, and I try to be a little extra. It's my time to be extra. What is let's start this off with, who are you? For anyone who may not know who you are, who's Adam?
This today. I'm an artist from Philadelphia, and I draw comic books, which I've been doing for 30 years now.
Wow!
But only about 10 years as a different kind of comic artist, anyway.
Let me just say thank you.
Gay-oriented comics that I started about 10 years ago, I guess. That I got contacted by a writer who asked me to draw a comic book for him, which I did. That was published a long time ago. And that was interesting.
But, what went on in this comic?
Lots of graphic sex went on in this comic.
Very nice. Okay.
It was an erotic comic book. But we drew the entire thing, and then the publisher that was publishing it went under the same month that we published it.
Oh my gosh.
So nobody made any money off of it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I probably about 10 years ago, before all of this started, I indie published my own comics.
Really?
For a while, yeah, like 4 or 5 years. I wrote and illustrated my own books. It was fun. It's really, really challenging. I mean, I am nowhere nearly as talented as you are, so it didn't really go anywhere. But it's a lot of fun. I love comics. I love comics.
Yeah, it's certainly not a career for me. I have a whole other life that pays the bills, but no, the comic art is just it's fun. I've met a lot of really interesting people through it, which is the reason that I keep doing it. But it's tough. It doesn't pay bills, that's for sure.
No, I was lucky enough in those days, and still talk to some of them now, but meet some people who are fairly successful. That you would think were like, doing well, and man, it's a struggle. Like, I think unless you're one of the super top tier people, and probably not even all of them anymore. Maybe if you were around in the 90s when they were really making money.
Sure. Yeah.
Like if you invested well back then, they're probably doing all right. But
yeah, there's a few people now that are doing really well, but for the most part, it's through IP sales and selling things to Netflix and movies and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're doing it for the love. They're doing it for the love, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
It's amazing.
But it's I have a lot of friends that are, for the most part, gay artists that are working in mainstream comics, and the schedules they work it is insane. The amount of time that they put in.
Yeah, some of these, and then depending what kind of artist you are too, like I can't imagine just one page sometimes is 10, 20 hours a page, and you're trying to knock out a 20-page book, and now we're doing bi-monthly releases.
Yep.
I don't understand.
It's crazy.
Question for you, because I'm interested. I don't know if other people will, but it's okay. You do a lot of pinup stuff on Twitter and Instagram. I would suggest following Twitter because Twitter allows more visuals, and or you could just go to I probably inappropriately shared a thing on one of our live streams because it was the greatest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. And if you're a fan of the Gamorrean guards, especially the hot muscle pigs, just saying there's some good stuff out there. It made me so happy. Also, my Maz Kanata Glory Hole quick sketch that you did for us was everything. But what do you enjoy more, a pinup or sequentials?
I do more pinup work, just because I tend to think more character based. So I don't do a lot of story based things. I have a million starts of stories on my iPad that I work on for like a week, and then I move on to something else.
Yep.
So I never really finished it. The book that I did a long time ago was like 60 pages, and it had like a deadline, and it had a publisher, so it had to be done at a certain time. So it was really easy to get through that. But I get super distracted.
That's every one of us creative people, right?
Oh God,
like every one of us.
Yeah.
This is the greatest idea I've ever had, and then a week later we think of another one, and the other one was rubbish. That's like, I think that's how it goes for all of us. I have so many half ideas for shows to do and topics to talk about, and then they just kind of sit there. It's all right. It's all right. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but that's the life of a creative, I think.
Yep. My day job is as an artist as well, but it's a painter. So I teach a few days a week, and then I just work in my studio the rest of the week. So, and some of those paintings take 2 weeks to a month to finish, but I can get through those pretty easily.
Like character studies there too? Different kinds of stuff? What do you do?
Figure painting, portraits, realist painting, yeah.
Wow. So is that where's your first love? Illustration, painting?
I don't know that I see a big difference.
Okay.
I do try to keep them separate, stylistically. The stuff that I do in my regular life is super realistic, but I enjoy comic book art a little bit because of the exaggeration and the line work. So I don't particularly enjoy like painted comic book work, just because it gets into a weird kind of uncanny valley kind of place. So I tend to really enjoy that kind of line work oriented comic work, and I try to keep those two worlds like separate from each other. Especially when it comes to like comics and animation, I'm a really, really, really big animation fan. Yeah.
I agree. I like super exaggerated, like really stylistic. Like Jamie Hewlett is one of my favorite artists ever. And it's just very unique and stylistic. And, maybe it's not for everybody. Your stuff is really like you said, the proportions it's just so much, it's more fun. I feel like you get to know an artist more. Maybe I shouldn't say more. That's probably not accurate. But like, I just feel it plays into the medium of especially comics and animation when you can like tell those things, I think it's one of the things I love about comics is you get to see the world that the artist and the writer sees out, you know what I mean? In a way, you get to see the parts of a body, like if we're doing character work that artist particularly likes or something like that, so they exaggerate this or whatever. It's really amazing for me.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. It's the kind of work I do and the kind of characters that I draw are not what you would consider mainstream.
Really? Oh.
Which is,
well, you
they're not 20-year-olds.
Well, you and I must walk the same alleys or something because all I have to say is thank you. I don't know if I can say I can't say thank you enough.
But it's interesting to sort of put that work out there and then really kind of find other people, which is certainly a modern social media influenced kind of place,
Oh my God. Yeah. If you've been doing this that
really
long,
opened it up.
You've been doing this that long. That's got to be like amazing for you. You said you're in Philadelphia, which also hello, Des, who also lives in Philadelphia. We love you, Des. To be able to see like your audience has had to have grown. I don't know if you do trade shows and stuff like that, where you would travel around and meet lots of people, but like, I mean, you have a pretty sizable Twitter following for sure, and Instagram. So you've got a lot of fans out there.
Yeah. But
That's pretty
I
cool.
find, you know, that a lot of the work I do is not, it's not geared towards, and it's a thing that I did that I run into in my actual career as well. The kind of people that I like to draw are not, especially with the gay audience, they're not 20-year-olds. You know, I'm not drawing. It's not a sort of it's not sort of teen oriented, early 20s oriented. You know, the stuff I'm drawing are mostly middle aged and up characters, and it's the same thing when I'm working at my real job. So there's a different market for it, you know. So it's a different sort of audience, and it's not one that I really expected to find until I sort of got into this and realized that there are a million people out there who have interests in different types of people.
Yep.
Which is really nice to know.
You know, let me ask you a question off of this conversation, because it's something that, like, I find really interesting, especially as I'm getting older, and from a former twink. When I was in my 20s, I'm short. I was very thin. I was your quintessential twink. I looked super young, uncomfortably young sometimes when I look back on some of those things. I don't know, and that's something that actually doing this podcast has taught me, because we have a lot of different kinds of people in our audience. Maybe it's changing. I don't know. I hope it's changing a little bit. But growing older as a gay man, and how do you identify? Before we go, okay. So as aging gay men, there was, especially earlier on, such a focus on youth, and I feel like now that I'm in my early 40s, and from the time I've been in my mid 30s, it's just like you don't exist anymore. Like, it just doesn't. You just don't exist. You're not attractive to anybody. And, you know, and in gay world, like, you can hit daddy status, and then you're almost fetishized in a way. Yeah. That's like, it's a really interesting thing. And I don't know if that's specific to gay culture or not, but, like, you know, that's the culture I'm in. So how do you feel about that? Like,
it is an interesting phenomenon. Yeah. There was a point that I definitely saw. Most of the men that I'm attracted to are older men. And there was definitely a point when I turned. I'm 51 now, but there was a point when I turned. I think it was about 45, when all of a sudden I just started getting like a million messages from 20-year-olds. It's like I crossed some sort of search threshold.
Yep. It's
and the
really
whole
weird.
World changed, and I was just like, no.
It's really weird. My husband's 51 too. And he's definitely entered. And let me tell you, being daddy status, when you're also a father, let me tell you, that is something that, like,
that is a whole different thing.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is, maybe at one point in time I would have thought it was hot, but now, like, this is just like, now it's weird, and I don't even know. But that's something I'm fascinated by, is just growing older gay, because I think, you know, some of us at certain ages grew up in some very, very difficult times where we lost a lot of our elders, and we saw, you know, I didn't necessarily grow up in the height of the AIDS epidemic, but I certainly saw it as I was coming to terms with myself. And then a lot of my queer elders I've met when I was first coming out, and like I came out, moved away when I was 18, so I've been out for a really, really long time. I lost a lot of them early on. So I don't know if that's where some of this idea of the fetishizing of youth is coming from older people. I don't know, like, the psychology behind all of that. It's sad to think about.
There's definitely an influence of in particular with men who come out later in life, of wanting to relive their the times that they missed, the 20s and 30s, and they I see it a lot where they kind of chase after that, in terms of people that they want to date. And it's I mean, some of it is obviously attraction, but some of it is, I think, is that feeling of loss, that in particular people who come out in their even 30s, 40s, 50s. I have a friend who just came out who was in his 60s.
Wow.
But
good for him.
There's a sense of like, what did I miss? And sort of being attracted to that stage.
I can understand that. I can understand that maybe a little bit, for sure. I feel like I bring up my friend every June on these podcasts, but I had a friend many, many years ago who didn't come out until he was 75.
Really?
And he was married, knew he was gay the whole time, but that's when he grew up, and he loved his wife and he never cheated on her. And she passed, and then he felt free to come out. And it's the most heartbreaking story, but I think he spent so long in the closet that he just felt very free, and he was so happy to finally, be himself. But no one talked to him. Like,
really?
Because he was invisible. He was too old for like the gay kids to talk to him. And it was awful. It was just awful. And he was like, he found the joy in it anyways, but I know it really hurt him to be invisible that long. He was invisible when he was married.
Sure.
To the whole world, and then came out. And, luckily, when we still had him with us, we found a good group of people who really, we took him in, and, we got to experience things. We would take him out, and we'd go dancing, we'd do all this stuff. And it was like, I wouldn't say he was chasing it being younger, but it was to what you were speaking to, of like, he wanted to live it to the fullest, man. He wanted that life that he was only watched from the outsides, and wished he was inside of. It was great.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of that. I came out when I was 27, maybe.
Okay,
27, I think. No,
so good, almost
25.
Almost or half your life. That's pretty. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I always knew I was gay since I was probably 5. I was absolutely positive since I was a child.
Yep.
But I grew up in a small town, and there were no out gay people. And it really was. I didn't come out until that late, because there was just no reason to. There was no. There were no gay bars that I knew of. Turns out there were a few. But this would have been back in the sort of mid 90s. And it was, a small town in Pennsylvania, and there just weren't there was no reason to come out, so it wasn't until I sort of discovered a gay bar in that city, and finally went out and got in a car accident the first night I was there, and ended up hitting a car who ended up being the guy that I hit ended up becoming a close friend of mine. But it wasn't until then that I sort of discovered that there were other gay people in the city. I worked for a gay man when I was probably 14, 15, 16, at a pharmacy.
Okay.
But he was the only gay person that I knew in that entire city.
That's crazy. What was your coming out experience like?
Surprisingly easy.
That's great.
Yeah, I came out to my brother first.
Okay.
And I came out to him, and he was like, "Yeah, I think I'm bisexual." And I was like, "Damn it! This is supposed to be about me."
Wow. Is he still
nobody like
that way? Is he still bi?
My brother is still bisexual. Yeah. He's been married.
Shouldn't say still. I shouldn't say still. That sounds, you know what I'm saying.
Well, it's an interesting thing. My brother is bisexual. He's been married 3 times. His third wife is very open and accepting of it.
Yep.
So there's an outlet for that now.
That's great. That has to be hard. I spoke to someone a few years ago, our friend Scotty, who is married to a man now, and are from, and like we've had conversations where the boyfriend then would sometimes introduce him as a gay person. He's like, but I'm not gay. And like bi invisibility is a very real thing, like it's a very real thing.
For sure. Yeah.
So that makes me happy, and good on his wife for being open-minded enough for that stuff too.
And most of his kids have been at least bi at some stage of their teenage years. Yeah, which honestly, like there is a there is sort of that bisexuals exist kind of thing. I have quite a few friends that are bisexual, but there is, I teach at a school, and I work with a lot of not young people, but people in their 20s and things like that. And there is a sort of, it's just okay to experiment. That's happening with kids now, where they're like, maybe I'll be bisexual this year.
Yeah.
I love that. Some of them change, and some of them go one way, some of them go the other way. And there doesn't seem to be as much of a sort of stigma or you don't necessarily need to choose.
That makes me so happy. I think back to when we were younger, and if like the idea of chasing a straight guy was always a very real thing. I personally never understood that. It was never my aim. But if someone slept with a straight person, and I think back to like the 90s, for sure, they were just like they weren't out. And they were really gay. But I used to always just get like, I was like, but, and if you were a gay person that was ever with a woman at one point in time, you were just closeted then too. And I used to always be like, well, why can't it work both ways? If like, why can't we get to the point where someone can go, I'm not sure what I am, and experiment, and then figure out what it is? And I'm really glad we hit there. Yeah. Because I think it's a much healthier spot. Yeah. It's much healthier.
It's sort of what I'm seeing, and I mean, a lot of this comes from my brother's kids, but just the idea, and granted, my brother's kids have a father that's bisexual, so their viewpoint might be different from other kids, obviously, but just the fact that they have this sort of option, of just choosing, what they want to be, and who they want to be friends with. And I'm sure it's not that easy for a lot of people.
No, and good on your brother for being open.
Yeah.
Because I think there's probably a lot of parents who might hide some of that kind of stuff. So
my brother hides nothing.
Maybe even sometimes when you should, one of those. Like possibly myself, my older son now especially, is like, yeah, Dad, did you really need to say that out loud? Like, well, yes I did, because I don't ever want you to be ashamed of anything. So yes I kind of did. Right. So you explore a lot of, well, we've already heard you've made very graphic comics before. A lot of your pinup stuff is very sexy. I love it very, very much. As an artist, has your artwork helped explored your sexuality? And has some of that been like the kinds of people that you draw? Is it reaffirming, of your own personal attraction and stuff like that? Like, what kind of stuff do you explore in your art?
It is, and it, like I said, there's an interesting, and it's particularly true with just internet culture. Like, the internet is a disaster like we all know it is a disaster. But the thing that the internet has opened up is that there are so many acceptable subcultures now.
Yep.
Of people that have similar interests and things like that. Like who knows where or what I would be doing if that wasn't there.
Yep.
You know, because there's you know, you put things out there and people respond to it. Mm-hmm. And that sort of leads to exploring different sort of attractions and different types of characters and that kind of thing. So definitely has a big interest on or a big influence on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I agree. The internet is definitely a disaster. I'm a huge fan of the band Garbage, and I think it's their third, maybe their fourth album called Beautiful Garbage, and that's just kind of what I think of the internet. It's like beautiful garbage because there's so much trash, but then there's so much beauty in it and freedom, and like you said, the subcultures that like there's no way I live in Phoenix, Arizona. It's a big city, but there's no way that I would find all the same subcultures that I know exist. It's just, maybe if you're in like maybe the heart of New York City, you'd be able to find some of these like worlds and that, but I even think that would be difficult, like, because there's so much stuff that has to be behind closed doors, and if you don't meet the right person to give you the secret password, you're not going to get in there. It just doesn't.
Yeah, I lived in New York City for about a year and a half.
Oh, okay.
After I left art school, and I never went anywhere. New York City was too expensive to go anywhere. So life exists there, but I didn't see any of it.
Yeah. My husband is from New Jersey and worked in New York City, and that's where he would go explore his queerness when he was younger. He'd run away to the city, and like, so I've heard some of those kinds of stories, and like it's just a train ride away, but a world of difference, like I never experienced that. When I came out, I just came out. I moved to another state. I just moved so I could just be gay, and it was the best thing that I ever did. So I kind of got comfortable with myself before I told anybody, because I knew I was going to lose a lot of people. I grew up in a suburb of Phoenix that was very, very, very religious. A lot of my friends were religious, so I knew a lot of them were going to go away. And so I was already confident in myself, and it didn't make it hurt any less when they left, but I think it was like the right move for me at the time, because I had, and then I had made new friends by that point who were gay. And
it was an interesting thing, when I came out as well. Like I ended up telling a bunch of my friends. One was a good friend of mine who had been my friend since ninth grade in high school. And he was like, "Yeah, okay,
that's great."
But we used to do a lot of things together, and then I came out, and our worlds just separated. And it had nothing to do with him being homophobic or any of that kind of stuff, but our worlds just went different directions. And there's always that part of, you come out and you start meeting different people, and you just separate from those people that you've been with forever, because they're just not in that world. And it was an interesting thing. He's still a friend of mine. I still talk to him, through, we don't live in the same city, but through messaging and things like that now and then. But we just don't see each other, and it had nothing to do with him being homophobic, but it's just that the nature of coming out, and there's that like dividing line in your life of sort of before and after you're going different directions from other people.
100%. Yeah. And then just getting older, like that stuff happens. But then when you put something like that in there, for sure, there's a new movie coming out that has a controversial line. I guess it's controversial, but I love it. And there's the line, "Love is love." And that's, quite the saying, especially during Pride Month. And the character's like, "That's bullshit. It's different." And I kind of I personally kind of live in that. Like, I love it. It doesn't mean one's better or worse than the other, but it's different. Gay people and straight people are just different. And it's, again, one's not worse and one's not better, but it is very different, especially, maybe as time goes, now that we can get married and we can adopt children, we can do all those things. Maybe that line will get a little blurred. I don't know. Mark and I, especially on the show, talk about how sometimes I miss when it was less acceptable. Sometimes I kind of miss that little, like, a little bit of the club, the insider club feel. I miss it.
That is a big thing for me, but especially as an artist, like throughout history, the number of gay artists, whatever they were, theater, fashion, any of those things. There is a part of being a creative person that is created by the sort of pain of being in the closet. I consider myself to be an incredibly aware person, and a lot of that is because of growing up in the closet. I am aware of what is going on around me 100% of the time. I can read people like you would not believe. And that is created by living an entire childhood of being in the closet. And that, those things that you develop, that ability to sort of see things and to just be aware of things around there, like obviously that can have a detrimental effect, but it also leads you to, it's I think it is generally one of the reasons why there are so many gay people in creative careers, because they are just more aware of things in ways that people growing up straight don't really ever have to be aware of what's going on around them all the time. They don't have to read people, they don't have to be aware of what they're presenting all the time. I'm a fairly masculine person. How much of that is created by growing up in a small town? If I grew up in a big city in a current age, like, who would I be? I have no idea.
Yep.
But seeing that kind of go away, I kind of wonder what's going to happen to those creative people. Not having that kind of life growing up in certain ways, and losing some of that.
100%. 100%. I'm so glad you shared that, because I agree so much. I think queer people, we have to do things that I think our straight friends don't have to do. And I think there's so much questioning of who we are, because there's so much life in our heads before we come out, and there's so much, like, what is making we become so self-aware of every move, like you said, sometimes, like, presenting ourselves one way just for sheer safety, just for safety reasons,
absolutely.
Really just starts to take hold of who you are. I've talked a lot about on here, like, I was really uncomfortable for so long, especially when I was the little 115-pound twink, like, especially that.
Right.
Like, I wasn't back then, this is not, I'm using back then language. Like, I wasn't gay enough back then, but I was too straight acting to be that gay, but I wasn't straight acting enough. And I never felt like, and I felt so pushed to be in this certain spot. And it made me so, back then my anxiety was so high because I just wanted to be myself. I didn't know. Like, I don't know. One day I want to sissy my walk across the thing, and another day I don't. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I knew how to be myself, and that was it. And now I revel in that. Now it's great. Now I think when the word queer started becoming more socially acceptable, which sounds like maybe it's becoming less acceptable again, but, like, I found a lot of freedom in that word, because, like, I've lived under that shell of being told to be something, not only by straight culture, but then inside gay culture too, of like, no, this is the box you have to fit in, which I get back then. That was how we survived too. Like, we we were still under the thumb of that kind of oppression, and we just kind of accepted it and then tried to make it our own a little bit. But we definitely lived in that. It's fun. Last night we had a live stream, and with Kenobi coming out, we've been really kind of already looking at that show and examining like the Jedi as queer people who were once out, and now they're being hunted by the government and hiding again. And like, it's really brought in an interesting way to watch that show. Because I think there are times that all of us have to do that sometimes in a work setting or whatever. You kind of like, I don't know how to be that. I'm not that person. I don't think I'll ever be that person.
It's an interesting thing. You know, my first boyfriend is mid-60s now.
Okay.
He is still in the closet at work. You know, still lives in that small town that I grew up in, and he's sort of fine with it. But it's just the necessity of growing up in a small red area of the state that I live in. That it's just easier to not have to deal with that kind of stuff.
It's so heartbreaking to hear when people are comfortable with that, because I definitely understand being comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But the fact that we have to become comfortable with that is just
right.
It's awful. It's so incredibly sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I can distinctly remember being in my sort of early 20s and being interested in art, and leaving I had joined this sort of art organization in the city, and I was like, finally, I'm going to meet gay people. And it turns out there are no gay artists out there.
Seriously?
It is so straight.
Oh my God. So like by day, I'm a graphic designer and I work for like a record store chain. Yep. So it's a very straight world. It's very, very straight. And sometimes I think that sometimes some of the people I work with think they're very open and they're not homophobic. And then, but you're like, like you can't do this. Like you can't do this. And there was a point where I brought it up because it was just really starting to affect me.
Sure.
And I brought it up. And then of course they all turned it into themselves and they were offended that I would even say anything. And I was like, I could possibly feel that way. I was like, oh my, but case in point, I'm saying how I'm feeling because of X, Y, and Z. And I came in with, all my documentation.
Yeah.
And you turned it into yourself. And I'm like, okay, well, this is the point. And it's almost like your friend. Maybe I shouldn't have to feel that I'm okay with this. But part of me is like, I know they don't think they are. So I've got to figure this out. Like, I got to figure out how to live with this. And maybe I shouldn't have to do that. But that's just the world. It's just the way corporate America works, And
one side or the other.
I've got a husband and 3 kids that need my health insurance, and we have retirement and all of the, all those pressures. And it's so not romantic to think about those things, but that's the reality. But I'm there, and again, well, I know our straight listeners, I say this stuff enough that they're not going to be offended, but like, I would rather be around gay people. And that's where I was like, we're just different. And like, I mean, I have lots of straight friends, don't get me wrong, but like, if I had to go pick a table, if we were all divided up, like, I'm going to go sit with my gay people because that's where I feel like I can.
It's more commonalities. It's not unusual.
Yeah. But that's one of the things that the show for me is like brought so much of is like I said at the top, like I can't believe how many straight people listen, especially to after when I'm with my husband, like it's a lot more filtered because my husband is like very prim and proper and keeps me in line. But the minute the four of us get on a live stream, sometimes it can get not appropriate, and they're all still there, and they love it. And it's amazing. It's amazing. As a 40-something-year-old gay guy, I never thought that would ever happen. I thought I would always have to be filtered, and my gayness would keep people away. Mm-hmm. And, you know, during Pride, I always, especially now, I remind myself of how lucky we are, because these are, you know, in the 90s, I was on the front steps of the Capitol fighting for things, you know, and I think about all the stuff that a lot of us had to go through back then, and it was just okay to treat people certain ways, and the language was just acceptable to use, and we fought through all of that for this moment, and I try not to ever forget that, you know, because it's easy to forget. You just get wrapped up in your day-to-day life, but I always try to remember that, and then celebrate it, because we, as queer people, have a long way to go. But I generally try to use June to celebrate how far we've gotten, you know? Personally.
Yeah. And it's a time for me anyway, to look back at the things that we've lost.
Yep.
There, you know, and you know, I'm not married. I don't have kids. Mm-hmm. Which puts me in a different sort of place, but there's there's sort of a push in the past 10 years or so to sort of mainstream gay people.
Yep.
Which to me is terrifying. Mm-hmm. You know, like I obviously 100% support gay marriage. Yep. I do not ever want to be married. Mm-hmm. For no particular reason. It's just never crossed my mind. Yep. But there's a lot of that sort of Philadelphia is actually going through that with our Pride celebration this year, where our Pride celebration used to be right in the gayborhood, and it was where all of the gay businesses were, and it was kind of celebrated as that. And then over the past for sort of 5 to 10 years, they moved the parade out of the gayborhood. They moved it out onto like a bigger road, and then the Pride parade moved to a different location that was bigger, but it was not in the gayborhood anymore. It was not where the gay people were hanging out. And this, I guess it was maybe last year or the year before, there was like a big break in the people that were sort of running the events. And then I just looked up this morning, and this year they're moving the parade, which they're not calling a parade anymore. They're calling it a march now, and they're moving it back into the gayborhood. And then the events are going to be moving back in there. So there's
wow.
It's an interesting sort of thing of sort of growing up, and then they kind of moved it into a more sort of bigger location, and sort of got out of the gay neighborhoods, and now they're all kind of moving it back, which I love. Yeah. You know, because despite it being a smaller place to have an event like that, it's nicer to be in neighborhoods where there are gay bars and there are gay owned businesses, and you know, bringing that kind of stuff back is nice to see.
Well, it's almost circling back to what we were talking about and speaking to earlier, but of missing as queerness becomes more mainstream, there's an element that we're missing, and some of that that connection and that old way of being, of really being with your people, you know, with being with our queer siblings, and it's it's an interesting way of, you know, sort of again, kind of making a break with your old self, you know, when you kind of come out, and those rules do not apply to you anymore. Yep.
So the result of that is that you have to make new rules.
Yep.
And those might not be. They might not be the ones we've lived with for thousands of years.
Yeah, they're not in the mainstream all the time.
They're not mainstream. They might not be closed relationships. They might not be relationships between just two people. There might be, you know, there's a lot of other options out there, and my fear with the kind of mainstreaming of gay society is that we're going to lose some of that.
100%. Like that lives in straight society too, but it is like you cannot talk about it in straight society. It's very it's very behind closed doors, and in queer society, it's very open. We talk about all those things. We celebrate those things as in broad strokes. But and the more mainstream we get, I agree with you 100%. Like I don't want to have to lose that.
Sure.
No, I think I've mentioned before, like, again, I'm in my 40s. My husband's in his 50s. We are now married. We now have 3 children. I don't know where I fit anymore. And we moved to the suburbs because we're raising kids. So I want them to go to a good school. I want them to have parks. And like, but I don't fit in here. I'm not straight. It's a very conservative area. I'm not super conservative by any stretch of the imagination. Like, and there's a tokenism that comes sometimes with people out here of like, oh, I know we're the gay friends. There's a tokenism with having 3 kids from the foster system, and oh, it's so wonderful. And I know people's hearts are oftentimes in the right place.
Sure.
But like, I feel like I don't want my children to be a token either. But then I go to like Gayland, and most of my friends are like our age. They don't know anything about kids. They don't want children. You know, why that is, I don't know. But like, I don't fit in there anymore either, because I'm like, oh, well, no, I can't go out with you. It's a school night. Oh, no, I got to make kids dinner. Like, it's like just a very different life. And, you know, it's not like, and I've been in the spot of not knowing where I fit. You know, there's not a lot of, especially gay men, that have families. There's just not a lot of us. And it's not the same.
And most of them that do have families from their past lives.
Exactly.
You know, there's a lot. I mean, you know, it's obviously changing, but there's a lot of, you know, having a family as a gay couple is a choice. You know, I have my second boyfriend has 2 kids.
Okay.
That were at that time only about 10 years younger than me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But when, you know, when we were dating, those kids were, you know, they were just there all the time. You know, I'd pick them up from school. Occasionally, his wife would pick me up at the airport occasionally when I was flying in.
Oh, wow.
You know, it was kind of a nice open relationship, but those kids were from his marriage. Yeah. You know, so it's a different thing when you're sort of a gay couple and you're choosing to have kids is sort of different from the straight version of that.
Yeah, especially like if we had children from previous marriages or relationships or whatever it was, you know, like they would be older. Our kids are pretty, you know, Tom's 51. We have an 8-year-old. You know, our oldest is 12, so they're also younger. It's just really, really interesting. I want to talk a little more about your artwork and and celebrating Star Wars and queerness, which we don't see in mainstream Star Wars.
No, we do not
yet. I fully believe that it's coming. I'm hopeful. Star Wars is all about hope, so I live in that. I live in that.
I'm going to need to see some proof.
I mean, I would love to see the Gamorrean guards in a 3-way spit roast over Jabba's trap in a Star Wars. Don't think that's going to happen.
I mean, those Gamorrean guards should clearly have been a couple.
Oh my God. Oh, they were so hot. I was so in love. Oh my God. So hot. But you're clearly, I would say, a very big X-Men fan, a very big Star Wars fan, and this is just based on your artwork, and also a very big Santa Claus fan. So, and I also, I'm going to try to keep this PG-13, but I wouldn't mind that Santa sliding down my chimney anytime he wants to.
I've been attracted to men with white beards since I was 15.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It's just always been a thing.
Yep.
I have no idea why, but it's just always been a thing. It's
Let me tell
interesting
you.
having access to the internet now. One of my best friends is like exactly the same as me, and we're both like, I don't know why, but it's been there since we were kids.
I have always been attracted to typically older people too. It's getting easier. I've been with my husband for 15 years, so but when it created a lot of body self-worth stuff in my mind for a long time, I think, because like I said, I was really little. I was very skinny, and I was very attracted to much bigger people. And so I think as a gay man, it was hard to find yourself attractive when you were not remotely attracted to anyone that looked like you. And then there was also weird like role play situations because I was attracted to older, bigger people that I was supposed to play this like certain role in this position, and it always made it very difficult. So thank God I found my husband, because he fits every box that I need him to, and he's hotter than hell. I don't deserve someone as attractive as he is, and also really nice and wonderful, and a wonderful father. But yeah, I understand that older, bigger, like there's something. I love it. Like I'm with you. Like don't know why, but that's always what I've been attracted to my whole life. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I've been a General Dodonna fan since I was 7 years old.
Were you the only 7-year-old that knew his name back then too? You're like, nobody else knows who he is.
The only one that was like, where's my General Dodonna figure?
Oh, and then you had to wait till 2002, and then you had 5 variants of him, and there you were. You're probably not even into the toys anymore at that point in time.
Oh, I still have all my toys from when I was a little kid.
Oh, I love it. I still have the ones that I played with. I have my C-3PO and Darth Vader cases. They're in the case. I used to have, it was like Instagram 30,000 follower quality, the amount of Star Wars toys that I had. I was collecting for so long. But then I had to put myself through college, and so
when did you first, you're younger than me, when did you first see Star Wars?
Empire Strikes Back was the first movie I ever saw. I was only 1, so I don't really remember.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing Return of the Jedi in the movie theater. But only 2 scenes. I only remember Max Rebo, and I only remember the curtain being pulled from Jabba the Hutt. Yeah. So I grew up with Star Wars on VHS. That's really when I fell in love with it. What about you?
I went to see Star Wars on my 7th birthday.
Okay.
When it was in theaters. I got my first Star Wars action figure. It was on my birthday, so I got for my birthday when I was 7. I got I believe it was the Ben Kenobi action figure, which of course every 7-year-old wants Ben Kenobi.
You know what? There it is. That's where the white beard fascination came from. At 7,
maybe.
Thank whoever got you that toy.
But when I was 7, I was born in 1970, so the movie came out when I was 7, 10, 13.
Yep.
Which is the perfect age to be, seeing those things. But I collected everything from Star Wars and Empire. I had all the toys. Actually, I pulled them out yesterday. They were in my studio when I was over in my studio working yesterday. I pulled all of my old figures, and
oh my God, I love it.
There's one that's missing because my nephew stole it from me.
Who is it?
IG-88.
Oh, okay. So to your nephew, it's probably IG-11. It's probably not even IG-88.
Right. Yeah. Who knows?
Oh, gosh.
But, I still have all that. When I turned, I left when I left home. I left all of my stuff in my father's house, and he just threw it all up in the attic. And then when I turned 40, he boxed everything up and brought everything back down to me here.
It's time, my friend. It's time, son. It's time. Take this away.
So,
oh my God, that's amazing.
Now I have all of my old Death Star, my old TIE Fighter and my X-Wing and all of those kind of things that I had when I was a little kid.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That has to be so much fun.
Back to me 40 years later.
Yeah, that's so great. What is it about Star Wars? Like, is it your number one?
Oh yeah, by far.
Yeah. Okay. What is it about Star Wars?
I don't know. I never lived life without Star Wars. It was just always there from the point that I can remembering things.
Mm-hmm.
It was just always there. You know, my grandparents took me to see Jaws when I was 6, which was probably not a good idea.
I still won't watch that movie.
but that's the first movie that I remember seeing. Okay. And then Star Wars was just the next year. So I don't remember life before Star Wars, and it was just always there. But I think I was at that perfect age to sort of grow up, sort of identifying with Luke Skywalker and sort of, again, like as a gay kid, the idea of Luke Skywalker sort of not knowing who he was and sort of having to leave home and go out and sort of figure out who he was and what he was going to be. And that kind of thing always resonated with me. I didn't think about it at the time at all, but looking back, it's all there.
Of course, if you grew up in a small town as a queer kid and like, you know, Luke is in a small town, let's face it, Luke is gay. So he's also a small town, you know, who just wants out. Wants out to answer whatever's inside of him that has been sitting there calling, that he knows he can't be there and he has to be it somewhere else. Like,
yeah. I am fingers crossed hoping they keep Luke at the very least asexual.
Yep.
The whole Mara Jade thing never made any sense to me. That was definitely I don't read a lot of Star Wars comic books. I've read a few over the years, probably a lot more than a few, really.
We're gonna be honest.
More out of obligation.
Yeah, I was working in a comic book store during the Dark Empire times with Luke, and they've never been my thing. I'm not gonna lie. Dr. Aphra's kind of fun. She's a little too obnoxious for my taste.
They're a little too. The modern ones are just way too photo referenced, and they're a little too sort of clean. Dude,
serious. That has kept me out. Like, even when it was Dark Horse, it was the same thing. I'm like, I've never gravitated towards like that art style. Like Chris Bacalo is one of my favorite comic artists. Oh God, I'm blanking on his name. Jose Garcia Lopez. Please tell me I'm getting that right. Who did like Teen Titans and did all like the Kenner superpowers. Like, that's like over the top and beautiful and clean, but like it's not trying to be real. And for me, it allows me to escape into it more. You know,
I liked Stuart Immonen's run on Star Wars. That was quite a few years ago now.
Yeah.
That guy can draw anything. And his Star Wars worked really well because it was not overly photo referenced. The characters looked like comic book characters.
Yep.
But then when they would bring in characters that were not from the movies, they would just look like comic book characters.
Yep.
You know, they were all like shirtless and bulging muscles everywhere, and I was just like, that's not Star Wars. And I feel like that a lot of the times with the Star Wars comic books, that they just don't feel like Star Wars to me.
Yep.
They feel like Star Wars filtered through a comic mentality, and they feel off for the most part.
Yeah, I think like I know this is bad words these days, but like I've never liked Legends. It was never, that was like when I got to The Last Jedi and you heard all the not my Luke, I'm like, no, that's finally like the Luke Skywalker that I thought he would turn into. Like we hear that he's going to go down a dark path and forever will dominate your destiny. And that's what happened. The Legends Luke, that was never, I didn't understand. To me, like when I would read it, they just, I felt like they were ignoring Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi and just like wrote A New Hope Luke over and over and over, who is this idealistic hero. Yeah. And I felt like it was just, for me, a lot of times, some of the newer books, some of the High Republic stuff, especially like Justina Ireland and Daniel Jose Older's books, I feel capture the spirit of fun in Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Like Star Wars tackles some really heavy things. Like it's not afraid to go into really emotional places, but it does it in such a fun way that I feel like you don't know they're talking about those heavy, big emotional things, if that makes any sense. And the books sometimes I feel lose that fun for me. And I love people that love the books. I'm really happy for them that want more of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I also don't like my Star Wars with too much information. I think that's from one of the things that makes Star Wars so great is we all write our own stories into it. I think Star Wars is a story that really invites its audience to participate in the story with it and bring ourselves into it, and allows you to see your own Star Wars, which I think is what makes Star Wars fans so wonderful. And it can also be sometimes what makes Star Wars fans so difficult, because you hear that that's not my Star Wars, because we put so much of ourselves into it, we forget that other people are doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. And so maybe their Star Wars is different from yours, but that was by design and that's intentional. And that's why you love it so much, for me. Sure.
And some people are just assholes.
And some people are just jerks, 100%. But I love it. Did Star Wars help you at all exploring your queerness and coming out? Is there anything in those stories that like...
I don't know that, I don't think it did that much. Mm-hmm. I think it did influence, like I said, it did influence sort of, like it can't not influence who you're attracted to and those kind of things. But I just saw the other day that there was that Marvel is doing Pride variant covers on all of the Star Wars books this month, and I looked through them, and I have no idea who any of the characters are on any of them. I think there's maybe 6 of them. They're all female characters.
Yep.
And they're all from the comic books.
Yep.
There's still that kind of fear. Even like I did not watch Clone Wars at all when it was on TV.
Okay.
I was just not paying attention at that point. But I watched Rebels when Rebels came on, and I was a big fan of Rebels.
It's so good.
I loved it. It seems to be sort of secondary to Clone Wars in a lot of people's minds, which I've gone back and started watching. Like the prequel trilogy came out. I obviously I went to see all of them several times. But I always had problems with them when I watched them. In terms of the sort of age that they were sort of aimed at, it just didn't fit with me at that time.
Yep.
But then going back and watching them now, and particularly watching the Clone Wars at the same time, the whole world kind of opens up when you start inserting the cartoons in there.
Yep.
Dave Filoni is like, please just turn the whole world over to Dave Filoni. He's more than anybody in that company now seems to really understand what Star Wars is about. Really more than anybody from my perspective. But I didn't sort of pay attention to the animated side until Rebels, and obviously at the end of Rebels we get sort of Zeb and
Zeb and
Callus, yeah. And to this day, they're still not canon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's lots of like hints that something, but they're still not willing to like make the jump to making a gay couple canon in Star Wars. That's annoying.
Yep. Well, it's interesting to go back. I feel like in maybe the late 90s and the early 2000s, like any gay representation in any sort of media was always two men. Like that's almost all you saw. If there was a lesbian, it was like a fetishized version of a straight man's like gaze on a lesbian all the time. Mm-hmm. And now, and I'm kind of happy that I'm seeing the discourse getting frustrated with it, because especially in Star Wars, like we're not seeing a lot of gay men being talked about. Yeah, it's like it's
weird to me, just because, especially when you're dealing with lesbian characters.
Mm-hmm.
Great for lesbians.
Yep.
But also plays into the sort of fetishist side of straight men, you know.
100%.
You put two gay men in there, and straight men are not going to be happy about it.
Yep.
Because they can't fetishize that part.
Nope.
And really, for me, until they do that, I sort of question a lot of those decisions.
I have faith in Ahsoka, the TV show, to bring in Zeb and Callus. I think it can happen.
It's possible. Dave Filoni is directing that, so fingers crossed. But
I mean, there is no way. I mean, I wish they would just explicitly say it, but come on, like they are together. There's no way that last shot of them together, looking at each other and their arms on one another. There's just no way. When it comes to the sequel trilogy, John Boyega and Oscar Isaac played them as a couple. Like, to me, they're just still a couple. I don't care that Disney, I shouldn't say I don't care. Disney should come out and say, and Lucasfilm should come out and say, no, they are a couple. Right. But those actors played them as a couple. So when I'm watching it, they're just a couple. Like, because that is 100% how they played
all
them.
of the other parts of that movie.
Yeah,
you have to ignore Rose Tico's entire plot line. The entire plot line for that 3 minutes anyway.
The way I look at it is Rose can still have a crush on Finn, and it doesn't need to be given back. And the Daft Punk character, Zori Bliss, I think they tried to put in a female character to somehow make Poe not gay, and they just made him bi. That's all they did. They just made him bi her pants. Like, it doesn't negate anything that happened there for me. Like, that's how I choose to watch that, because I think that was the first time I was ever like mad at Star Wars, and I've had to work through that. But I think I was really mad, and I felt really insulted.
It's interesting. Like, I've never thought of Star Wars as a relationship oriented story. There's like, I mean, obviously going back to the original 3, there are lots of relationships going on in there, but they were not the focus of the story, you know. And I'm a big fan of stories that are not based around relationships.
Yep.
You know, it kind of drives me crazy that every movie that ever comes out has to have a male character with a female, you know, girlfriend, and like there's no, which is why I love what they've done with Luke, you know, up to this point anyway. That they sort of allowed him to not have another side, whether male or female.
Yep. I don't think they ever will. I really don't. I think that is like,
I don't. I mean, he seems so kind of monastic Like there's no it sort of fits his character at this point that there's not going to be someone like that. And I don't
but
think
even in the prequels, when so much of that is centered on Padme and Anakin, it's less about their individual relationship, and it's about how that relationship affects them and their responsibilities to other people. So even the heart of that film, though, that saga, that trilogy, excuse me, is relationship built, but it's not really about the relationship. So I'm with you with that 100%. And let me tell you, I am still living. I have always been a big prequel fan. Like the minute they came out, they are my favorite trilogy. Like I love the prequels so much, and I'm so glad I get to like outwardly celebrate them now. I didn't have to crawl to the back corner of a comic shop and talk in the dark with like the one other person that also liked them. I love them. I'm with you with Rebels. Rebels is so great. I'm a huge Clone Wars fan. And like I love Ahsoka, and I think part of that love of that character is because I watched Clone Wars from the movie, and I watched it week by week, and so I lived with that character for so long and saw, like, I've been a part of her journey every step of the way. And I put a lot of my queerness in Ahsoka, and watching her journey of slow acceptance across the board, along with my like living and being more and more accepted as a gay person, to the point where now Ahsoka is so incredibly popular, which I love. Like I love how popular she is. But to circle it back to, I also kind of miss my secret club of being gay. I kind of miss my secret club of Ahsoka. So it's like I'm celebrating on one hand because I never want to be that person who's like selfish of like, if I love a character or a band or a movie, I want it to as many people to love it as much as I do. But then some of that novelty starts to wear off at the same time. You're like, oh, but I kind of missed when I could only talk to like, back in the day, if I saw someone with like an Ahsoka anything, you knew they were like knee deep in Star Wars. Like you knew like, oh, I got you. Because nothing's worse than when you're in a store and you see someone with a Star Wars shirt on and you're like, oh, I like Star Wars too. And they're like, oh yeah, I love it. And then you start talking, you're like, oh, okay, I know you love it, but you don't love it to the level I do. And I just sound like a total nerd. But especially with Ahsoka now, because now you cannot really know anything and like Ahsoka because she's great. So I need to find a new inside character that I can like. I see someone with, maybe it's Old Man Rex. Maybe that's where I need to go to, is Rebels Rex. He's very sexy.
Old Man Rex is my current love. And partially, I think it's because there are no action figures. There are no.
I feel like they made one. I think there's one.
They made one really bad one. It's not great. I have 3 copies of it.
Okay. Like every Star Wars nerd, it's not good, but I have 3 of them.
Yeah.
But I don't like it, but I do have 3 of them.
Yeah.
I love that.
But there are so many like the Black Series figures, which I don't collect a lot of that stuff anymore. But I buy like certain things that I like now and then. And I'm still like every single time they announce a new wave, I have to go and look to see if there's going to be an old Rex, and there's just never one.
Yep.
There's no Callus either, which I found out the other day. That seems like a big miss.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the Black Series stuff either, and it probably goes back to that, especially now that they do like the photo stuff on there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh no, like I want like my favorite Star Wars toys ever from the 2D Clone Wars cartoon. Like those action figures are so good because they're just so stylized and different. And I'm like, I want like a Black Series, something that looks like that. I want to see my Rebels. I don't want to see my Rebels characters looking like real people. I want my Rebels characters look like the cartoons.
I'm currently working on a 12-inch Hot Toys version of old Captain Rex.
Wait, you're like sculpting one?
I bought one of them. I bought the sort of young Rex that I'm kind of modding. I've resculpted the head.
Oh my God, I love it.
To make so that I can make a custom version. But it's going to take a while to finish that up.
I wish I had that kind of talent. Like I will buy anything Din Cobb, because Din Cobb is also going to be canon. There's no way those two people are straight. They love each other. They will be married. Just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's just nope. My favorite couple in all of Star Wars. I love my Din Cobb. So I will buy those. I do have those Black Series, and I have my Cobb Vanth pre-ordered for what feels like 5 years, and I have no idea if it's ever coming out. I don't know what's going on with it. Because I don't pre-order stuff. I think it's the first and only thing I've ever pre-ordered. Was that? Yeah. I'm old and I like to go find them in the store, which is also severely limited the amount of Star Wars things I have, because I'm just like, half of it to me was the fun of like finding it in the store and you're like, oh my God, it's on the peg. And that doesn't happen anymore.
I live in Philadelphia, so.
Is it all there?
I don't go to stores anymore.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Because if you go to a store, you have to move your car, and then you lose your parking spot.
Oh my God! And you might shovel snow. There's snow there, right? Snows a lot in the winter.
It does.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Not recently. Global warming has taken care of some of that. But.
If you had 3 children under the age of 13, you would probably find yourself at the store more often going, I just need the house is very loud. I need a minute. I don't know. We need eggs, right? We need eggs. Oh no, just pepper. Yeah. I'm going to go buy some pepper. It's very important that we have this pepper right now.
I'll be back in 2 hours.
Exactly. Oh, okay. I want to ask one final question that I have been asking everyone before I let you go, because I think it's an important conversation to have, because there's a lot of different perspectives on how people can interpret this. But the rainbow dollar, it's Pride Month. You see, you don't go to stores, but if you were to go to stores, you would see rainbow shirts at your Targets, at your Walmarts. You'd see all of it. And there's a lot of people with a lot of different opinions, most of which are valid. And I would like you to share your opinion on that. The idea of the rainbow dollar.
Yeah. 5 years ago, I think it would have been different. Obviously, like I'm on Twitter. Everybody's talking about this. It's everybody talks about it every single the first week of June anyway. But I think 5 years ago I would have been a little bit more annoyed by it. But I'm at a point now where I'm like, the more rainbow flags that are put in front of racist people's faces, the happier I am.
Yep.
Yeah. The more the more sort of conservative things get, the more it's just sort of the nature of my personality. The more I want to like push back. I want to.
Of course, we're middle-aged gay men.
Drawings that are gayer and more explicitly sexual, the more conservative the world gets, because I want to kind of push back against that. But to me, obviously it's 100%. They're just looking for money, obviously. Yep. But the effect of them looking for money is that we get rainbow flags in everybody's faces. And every Target in every tiny little conservative town in the South. Most of my family lives in the South now.
Okay.
Every one of those stores has shirts with rainbow flags on them.
Yep.
So everybody going to those stores has to see those things, and it'll make some people happy and it'll piss other people off, and I'm good with both of those.
Yep.
I think 5 years, whatever, before the last administration sort of destroyed everything in the country.
No doubt.
I think my view of it would have been a little bit more cynical.
Okay. Yeah.
and a little bit more like they shouldn't be doing that. But at this point, more rainbow flags is better to me.
I always think about
buy any of them.
Yep, same.
Myself, but they're out there, which to me seems a good thing.
I always try to think about like young you growing up in small town and didn't know a single gay person, and maybe you'd see a rainbow flag, like those kids that are in those towns today.
Sure.
And see that rainbow flag, and it's a little bit of a I'm accepted feeling. I always try to remember that, because there's every right to be cynical about it. There's every, that is a very, very valid, and that's all there, and it is important to be that way. But I tend to lean with you. I think it's a little bit of an act of rebellion. I actually, in that rebelliousness, it's a very queer thing to say, you know what I mean? And okay, maybe the intentions of the people putting it out are not that act of rebellion, but as a consumer, I can use it as an act of rebellion, if that makes sense,
Sure.
I don't know. But yeah, thank you. I I love getting everyone's perspectives on that.
Yeah.
Especially
I teach in a lot of I teach workshops around the country doing portrait painting and figure painting and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of them are in small towns and off the road kind of places, and
I'm sure
you see a lot of that. I was actually just down in the middle of Virginia. I have a good friend that lives down there now, but I was teaching a workshop there for 2 weeks, and it's there's like a little isolated town that's like a haven of sort of creative people, and it's just surrounded by the reddest area that you could possibly get to.
Trump is still my president flags on their pickups.
I was driving around with this guy. We were just kind of driving around the country, and I came across I am not kidding you, a 20-foot high cutout of Trump at the end of someone's driveway. I am not joking. 20 feet high.
Excuse me as I leave for a second to go vomit. I'll be right back.
But in the same areas, they're filled with Trump flags just all over the place. But then you also see rainbow flags, so there are these people that are still out there kind of fighting back in these areas. Like it's a luxury to live in a city like I do, where Philadelphia is Philadelphia is a fairly racist city. It's very open, but the city is still very divided. There are white sections of the city and there are black sections of the city, and there's not a lot of crossover, and there's a lot of anger for years of how people were being treated, and that still kind of exists, but still, even here, we come to June, and I live in a fairly poor neighborhood.
Okay.
That's sort of changing at the moment. But I go outside and there's houses around now that have rainbow flags on them, and it's nice to see that.
That's great.
That people kind of aren't afraid to do that. They're not afraid of bottles being thrown through their windows and.
Yep. God, that's what I think about, because we are still young. We're not that old, really. 43, 51. That's really not that long, and to see, and we've been able to live in a time when you could do that, but you were going to have windows and things thrown through your windows, and the people that came before us that fought for us to get there, possibly really couldn't put some of those things out without risking their lives. And again, I think it's a reminder. We were just talking about this last night. It's because of that 20-foot person at the end of that person's driveway, things are being in question again, and it's kind of a scary time. And I try my best to be a pink milk half full kind of person, and I try to live my life that way.
Right.
And it's hard, but it's hard because, and now as a dad, I remember, a few years ago when the Supreme Court was trying to like put their little fingers out there about how the culture would react to taking away, marriage equality again and try to figure out some way that it was actually unconstitutional. It was really scary, and it made me mad as a queer person, and I was more angry, and that's still my first go-to. I've only been a dad for 5 years, which, but everything's different now. I was like, what, like, holy F, what is going to happen with my kids if this happens? Like, what would happen? Because we can all, like, and I share this a lot, we can pretend like equality is around and it's easy.
Right.
No one would believe how many adoption agencies flat out rejected us, even though it was 100% illegal. How many judges were homophobes, and how our last son, I literally had to go to, like, I had to yell at a judge, and that was not easy, but he was a homophobe, and I called him out on it, basically, because he, at the very last minute, was going to try to step in and get in the way of our adoption. And thank God I did it when we did it, because it was right before everything shut down. I don't even know what would have happened if we hadn't been lucky enough to happen before all of COVID, and that process just stopped. But our middle son, our second son, who was also the youngest, but like, all of a sudden a certain therapist and certain social workers found out we were gay, and then it became this problem. It was a fight. It was just a fight. And it's not supposed to happen anymore, but it does. And government kind of allows it to happen because our rights have not been here that long. There's still a lot of deep-seated, systemic, acceptable things. It's going to take a very long time for those things to just kind of dissipate, if they ever dissipate completely. I mean, look where you live. Like, that's still going on. It still happens. It's awful. It's awful. And that's why I love Star Wars, because I can remember I'm always the rebellion, and I have to believe that things are going to get better, because if you don't believe things are going to get better, it's really hard to keep fighting. For me.
Yeah, I absolutely think that there's an entire generation, several generations at this point, that have grown up identifying with rebellion as being a good thing. And that has to affect how people react to things. At this point, certainly does for me.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think to Luke, I know I might come across as really naive, and I'm hopeful, and I laugh and I giggle a lot and I do all those things, but don't ever think that when the mat comes down, like, I'm quick to fight. And I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I had to. We all have to. And I always thank Star Wars for that, because you can rebel and you can fight for your rights. You can also do it looking cool with a lightsaber and still have fun. and Ewoks are also gay. Don't think that the cute little Ewoks over there partying are going to, just roll over for you, because they're the ones who are actually going to take you down. Just like,
and then they're going to cook you and eat you.
Exactly. And you know what? There's a few of those judges out there, and maybe past presidents. If I needed to eat you, you know what? I just might cook you up and eat you, just to say I did. All right. Well, thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. Thank you for sharing your stories. I think, thank you. I think there's going to be some interesting points of view that you share that I think are going to be great.
Thank you.
Where can people find you for your artwork, for your merch, all that stuff? I'll put it in the show notes below. So,
for the most part, on Twitter, which is at Adam Graphite. I'm on Instagram. I don't use it that often. I used it a lot, and I'm a little bit tired of how they're treating gay people on that platform. I'm not on. I have an account on Facebook, but they cancel it every couple of days.
Seriously.
Just because I never really use it.
Yep.
But yeah, I am on Instagram at Adam Graphite and Twitter at Adam Graphite. But until Elon Musk takes over, Twitter is probably the best place to find me.
I know. What is that going to look like? Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, luckily you can block people.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, Twitter is, when you're drawing any sort of adult-oriented artwork, Twitter is literally the only place. Tumblr's gone, Instagram is gone, Facebook was never there. Twitter is literally the only place left.
That's crazy.
It is. It's a little scary.
We'll have something new will pop up, I think, to bring back that freedom. Like something new will come. Mm-hmm. Twitter is a beast that's going to be really hard to fight against these days, but like it will come. Thank you so much, and may the force be with you. And
we're back.
We're back. Back streets back. All right. Actually, no more singing.
No more singing.
No.
What?
We got a lot of bad reviews last week.
Wait, did people ever like our singing?
I don't know. Maybe they did, but like I'm not lying. There was like 325
people
Twitter
saying
comments. Don't ever sing again. We're leaving your show. Cancel Pink Milk.
But it's all part of the magic that is us. Off. It's off.
It's off is what it is.
Well, we can't make any promises that we'd ever be on, but we might sing here and there.
I'm just kidding. Nobody really complained. Thomas, actually first, before I ask you anything, Adam, thank you so much. I really wanted to have that conversation with someone for a really long time, and it was great having it with you. And honestly, thank you so much for your art because it's beautiful. Now I really want to check out his paintings. But Thomas, I think you might blush if you saw his art. But it's hot. Those dudes.
I'm still going to look.
Those dudes are so hot. Oh my God. Anyways, what are you going to do? Do you have any plans for Pride Month, Thomas?
I just know June is crazy busy for us here. Mm-hmm. Camp, kids, practices, basketball games, family vacation.
Okay, yeah, because all the sports sounds way too much for me.
Sorry.
Like, that's not gay enough.
That's what happens when you have 3 boys.
Yeah, vacation, though. We are going to go to Disneyland here in a few weeks. And I just realized...
And the beach.
Don't
forget the beach.
Going to wear nothing but Speedos or banana hammocks.
So there you go. That's what we're doing for Pride.
No, Thomas, we need to remember that Pride Month is about activism. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be an activist.
Okay.
While we're at Disneyland.
Okay.
I'm going to make it my mission, especially if I can do this in Galaxy's Edge somehow. I'm going to make a cast member say gay. That way, Disney says gay.
Okay.
I'm gonna. It's my mission.
It's okay to make them say gay.
It's okay.
Should I record this?
Some may even say yay.
Yay.
Olay.
Look at they. They gay. That's what they'll say when they see us coming.
Oh, yes, that they will. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's my mission now.
Maybe we'll have Pride shirts on when we go.
I don't think we own any Pride shirts.
Ooh, that's not true.
We're not good gays. I don't think we have any gay shirts.
Well, that's because our kids go through shirts like there's no tomorrow.
Actually,
and so do we.
No, our friend Mark gave me one T-shirt where Cyclops spitting out a rainbow out of his eyes.
Okay,
but it's like painted on, which actually probably makes it very gay.
Mm-hmm.
If I just paint on the shirt, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, anyways, until next week, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget to leave us a review. Subscribe to YouTube if you haven't already.
Not about the singing, though.
Unless it's to compliment us on having the guts to sing when we know we can't. Because
we can't?
I was raised on Karen Carpenter, and I choose to sing. I sing out loud. I sing out strong. It does not matter if I'm good enough or for anyone else to hear. I just need to sing, and I need to sing a song.
Ding, ding, ding goes the trolley.
Yeah, but don't forget to leave us a review on Spotify and Apple iTunes. Subscribe to YouTube and follow us at Serving Pink Milk on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And until next week, Thomas, are you ready?
I'm ready, Brian.
Let's drink up.
Drink up.